So here's an example. I put down over 2 slides because it's so big. And you have a handout to help you follow along because I don't know if people in the back can actually read this. So the purpose of this chart is for me to go over a lot of the backstory of creation and the universe in order to create the context to really understand what's going on right now. Because if I tell you, hey, guess what? The elite are planning to kill 90% of you, you'd be like, that's rather rude. Or you'd be like, well, but why would they do that? And then I say, well, it's because it's the agenda of the Nebu Gray aliens who control this planet. And that brings the question, well, okay, well, I really need to know some backstory here because there's obviously a lot going on they never told me about. And you'd be 100% correct in that regard. And again, if someone doesn't believe in aliens or extraterrestrials, we have to keep in mind a few things. The elite who are in charge of this planet, they believe in all this, whether you do or not, and they're acting as if it is correct. As a matter of fact, NASA has a lot of laws on the books governing your contact with extraterrestrials. They're actually reprinted in the back of the last harvest. So I know the government likes to waste money and buy $1,000 toilets and things like this, but do you really think they'd be writing laws to govern the contact with extraterrestrials if there weren't any? It goes on and on. As a matter of fact, the other 3 weeks ago in Congress, a congresswoman testified in front of everyone. She was former military. She says, yes, extraterrestrials exist. I've seen the bodies. I've seen the craft. This is one of your Congress people. So what, you think she's delusional? No, more and more comes out. When I was a child and I went to the Hayden Planetarium in New York City, the announcer of the star show on the ceiling would say, and of course, we are the only intelligent life in the universe. How could you even think there's anything else? And blah, blah, blah. And I'm sitting there as a kid going, it doesn't really quite make sense. This is a big universe. I'm sure there's somebody else out there. It can't just be us. Some years later, you go now and you hear Neil deGrasse Tyson, who I'm no fan of, and he's narrating the star show, and he's like, of course we're not the only life forms in the universe. How could you think of something so retarded? I'm like, 25 years ago you were saying that we're saying retarded stuff. So we're here.